This is Generation Stadia, giving you that daily dose of everything and anything Stadia related, and today I'm here to give you my first impressions of the latest game coming to Stadia, the Serious Sam Collection. So in case you don't know, these games are that old school arcade style shooter from back in the day, and this one includes 3 of them with a slew of features. There's really no shortage here. It includes 3 campaigns, their DLC, has 16-player co-op and versus play, and if that's not enough, it also allows you to play 4-player split screen. It's also worth noting that the multiplayer itself has a server browser and allows you to select from a variety of game modes for both co-op and versus. Now let's talk about the gameplay itself, and first I want to focus on the first encounter and the second encounter. There's a reason for that, but we'll talk about that later. Either way, these 2 games are the classic arcade style shooter you know and love. Tons of running around, strafing and shooting non-stop while trying to stay alive and not get hit. The games can be very difficult, especially if you're only used to modern day shooters. Go in knowing that you're going to die. Luckily, they do have a variety of difficulty options if you want to take it easy, but these games aren't meant to be a walk in the park. They're supposed to keep you on your toes and constantly moving while also shooting. Now, these 2 games are also the 2 oldest in the collection, and it kind of shows. There's a lot of design choices that really represent it. The first game lacks quite a bit of variety, especially in environments. The second certainly improves on it, but things like the level design certainly show their age. Now when talking about the weapons, there's a good variety, and that spans all 3 games. You'll be dealing with things like pistols, shotguns, knives, sniper rifles, machine guns, assault rifles, miniguns, rocket launchers, and more. I also need to give credit to the audio design because all the enemy sounds that get made actually give away their position, and if you're not paying attention, you could easily be getting hit from behind without even knowing it. And that's because Serious Sam's franchise prides in throwing you into swarms of enemies, so you're gonna be surrounded constantly. Get ready for that because it's very intense, but it's also extremely fun. They're relentless and charge at you non-stop, and if you get hit, then you're not gonna be relying on recharging health. You're gonna have to find health pickups as well as armor pickups to stay alive. Either way, I can safely say that I enjoyed my time with both the first and the second game, but now let's talk about the third. Serious Sam 3 BFE sits in a bit of a weird spot because it came out at a time where arcade shooters were kind of dying out and modern shooters were taking its place. Because of that, you lose some of that old school charm while gaining a weird sort of modern twist on it, but I really can't help but feel that they should have just stuck to one way of designing the game over the other. Now don't get me wrong, gameplay wise it still tries to remain true to the series and it still has a lot of intense action and countless enemies for you to face. My main issue falls with the level design. It just seems like a bit too much and a lot of it is just empty filler. They decided to go with more realistic graphics instead of having more colors like the first and second game, not to mention the difficulty seems a lot lower in this one. It just feels like it became a product of its time and it's really dated because of it. For example, the addition of sprint makes the kamikaze attackers pretty much pointless as you can easily just run away from them. Now I have heard that after the first 4 levels the game really picks up and gets back to what made Serious Sam good, but my first impressions of playing it after a couple of hours just aren't that positive. At least not when compared to both Serious Sam the first encounter and the second encounter. I'll continue to play it and I'll let you know my impressions of it later on, as I know a lot of people have stated that it gets much better, but right now I'm just giving you what I've got. Now, one thing that remains true for pretty much all 3 of these games is that they play much better on a mouse and keyboard than a controller. Not only is it more difficult to play on the controller, but it also takes away from the fast, fun, quick reaction time gameplay the series is known for. I actually struggled myself to get through some of the first few levels on a controller for the first and second game. 3 was a bit more bearable due to the addition of the melee button, but I still felt like I was handicapping myself by not using a keyboard and mouse. Now I do need to mention that the co-op mode apparently allows for 16 players. At the time I was only able to get into a lobby with 5, but it was pretty crazy playing with that many people. I'm pretty sure this is the first shooter I've ever played that allows for more than 4-player co-op, so it's a pretty interesting thing to experience. As for the versus mode, I got into a match with one other player and it was just us going at it in a small arena, and it's exactly what I expected. It's an arena shooter with pickups laid out throughout the level, and it's just fun non-stop action. I'm hoping to see the player counts rise as the day goes on, and I'll let you know my experience in an upcoming video if I get to try out a 16 multiplayer match. So all things considered, I think Serious Sam the Collection actually provides amazing value. I don't think it's gonna be for everyone. In fact, I think if you're not into the old school arena style shooter, or if you don't like games like Doom, you should probably avoid this. But if a game like Doom or Wolfenstein is your cup of tea, then this is right up your alley and you should pick it up immediately because you're gonna have a blast playing it. Now, you may have noticed that I didn't really talk much about the story, and that's because I don't really think it's all too important in these games. The focus here is purely on the gameplay. It's fast, it's fun, and it's mindless while also being highly skill-based. I will say though, the game does feature a lot of dry and crude humor, so be prepared for that. Anyways, if you have any lingering questions about the game, do leave them in the comments section below, as I'll gladly answer the ones I can. Now, if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out, and if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. Today's end of video message is going to be a question. Did you pick up Serious Sam the Collection up, and if so, would you be interested in playing in a 16 multiplayer match? I kinda want to gauge interest to see how many of you out there pick this game up, while also seeing if it's worth setting up something on the channel. I look forward to your replies, and as always, thank you for watching. This has been Generation Stadia, giving you that daily dose of everything and anything Stadia related. The Gen S community is over 3,500 strong and growing by the day, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.